What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. My name's Jonathan. Joining me, as always, the Doc. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, Commish. I'm real good.
Good to hear, man. Today's show, going to be talking about some undervalued wide receivers in Dynasty football. Before we do, I just want to pass a little bit of news along. Take a look in the description. Got a link down there to the orphanage. Every year some teams come up for sale. Great way to get your feet wet, half price. Previous owners paid your deposit. Those do get updated almost every day. John Beast, man, the awesome owner here at Masters, man. One of his favorite things to do is every day, pops out new teams, and sometimes he'll save back his favorite teams. And, on a random Tuesday, man, you'll wake up and just great dynasty teams getting posted, man. So you definitely got to check those every day, not to miss out, on some of these really great orphan teams. And also, man, just wanted to give a shout out to John Beast, my man. I was wearing my Jordan hoodie today, and then the other day he had dropped a little stat I thought was interesting, man. Larry Bird 6-0 against MJ in the playoffs. Did not know that. I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah,
that is interesting.
But hey, man, we're here to talk about wide receivers, dynasty football. Doc, what receiver do you think is undervalued?
Gosh, I hate that I'm even saying this because this is another guy I've publicly not liked. It's Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, he's still somehow only 25 years old. It feels like he's been in the league for like 20 seasons, but he's still super young. And I mean, now that Tyreek Hill's gone, I mean, he's got a legit shot to be the number one receiver, not named Travis Kelce, in one of the best offenses in football. And he's being valued I feel like he's being valued worse than he was as a Steeler. And I don't understand that. It doesn't. I mean, there's no guarantee he, is as good as he has been in the past. But I tell you what, I really like the prospect of him being Mahomes' possible go-to option for at least this year. And if things go well, maybe the next couple of years. I mean, he's criminally cheap right now. I mean, he's got a ton of upside somehow. And again, if I'm saying this, I mean, it's got to be somewhat true, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. I just, because I'm trying to think just a couple points here. One is I think, even on TV, man, or even in dynasty articles that I'm reading, I keep hearing about the possibility of who the Kansas City Chiefs are going to draft.
Right.
I mean, even me and you've talked about it in the last couple shows. All of a sudden, one of these rookies go to Kansas. It's like Juju's just getting glossed over. Why are we talking about who they might draft when they just, another thing I'll point out too, in a lot of trades I've seen, man, Juju for a first round pick. See that a ton of times. Very common trade. When's the last time you seen Tyreek Hill go for just a one?
Yeah, I don't know. Not in a while.
Yeah, I mean, he brings a haul, man. I mean, if you're going to be Patrick Mahomes number one, potential number one.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's worth taking the swing. I mean, he's not expensive enough that it would kill you for trading for him. And I mean, the worst thing that happens is, you lose a pick probably.
Yeah.
Best thing that happens is, like you said, you get Mahomes' number one receiver for the next 3 years. Who knows? Yeah. It could end up really, really good. It could end up just, not good at all. But I feel like the possible good is a lot better than the possible bad to me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people just don't want to see him and Jackson Mahomes together.
I could see that being an issue too.
That's kind of sour. That's kind of soured his value a little bit.
I know. I love how they asked him if he'd be making TikToks with Mahomes' brother, and he was like, "No." What kind of question is that?
I know. We'll see though. I'll be honest. If I
was
Juju,
TikToks are going to be great.
I'd be best friends with his brother, man. It couldn't hurt.
Yeah, honestly.
Hey, man, that's Mahomes' little brother, man. Obviously, he loves him, or he wouldn't be putting up with, obviously, all the.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'll point this out too, man. If you're on TikTok, man, and you got to watch that crap, on Monday or Sunday or whatever it is, man, might as well have had him in your lineup.
Yeah,
and helped you win. Then as you're scrolling, exactly. At least you could feel a little bit good about it.
All
right, and I'm going to move on. Actually, my guy too, man, is a guy that I've never really been that high on, a guy that, I just never really liked. is shout out to Dynasty Al, a guy that used to be on the show with us, but I used to get sick of hearing him talk about this guy too. Just shut up. I don't want to hear about him anymore. And that's Christian Kirk, the Jacksonville Jaguars. A guy that, when we started doing this show and I was like, looking around for a guy that I like, I was in the top 32 wide receivers on my fantasy league from last year, looking up and down that list for a guy that stuck out to me. Got all the way down to number 23. There was Christian Kirk. Finished number 23 at wide receiver last year, which I was a little surprised about.
Yeah.
So basically was an every week starter, or should have been an every week starter in fantasy leagues last year. And then, if you're looking around at that Arizona offense last year, I find it impressive too, because I think, the beginning of the season, you had your DeAndre Hopkins games. Obviously Hopkins got hurt. Big stretches of the season last year where AJ Green stepped up in that offense. Shockingly, AJ Green almost had 1,000 yards last year, just throwing that out.
Wow. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it was like 900 yards, man. He wasn't that far off from it. Rondelle Moore, had a stretch of games where all of a sudden, guys were getting up first round picks for Rondelle Moore. Through all that, through the fact, all three of those other wide receivers performed. Christian Kirk, solid, finished at the top 20, finished top 24 at the position at 23. Fast forward to this year, he broke the wide receiver market. Every wide receiver wants a new contract ever since that happened. And listen, I'm not arguing with them. When I heard the news or seen the news, I thought it was a misprint. Like, this can't be right. Like, and listen, I'll stand here today and I still think it's a bad contract. I don't know quite what Jacksonville was thinking about. It's not a bad contract for Christian Kirk and his dynasty value, though.
Oh, yeah.
Great. I mean, listen, Jacksonville has to find a way to get this guy the ball.
Yeah, if you're going to pay him that much, you better use him. That's where I like it, because he is a playmaker. He can do a lot of different things.
He can.
So, I think he's got a ton of potential. And like you said,
yeah, me too.
Not a ton of value. It doesn't.
We've talked about Trevor Lawrence a ton, man. Here's, one of the most heralded players coming out of college football ever. Obviously, last year was an absolute dumpster fire in Jacksonville, which hurts me a little bit as a Buckeye fan. I'm an Urban Meyer guy, but look, it just didn't work, man. No leadership, and that all, ETN goes down, DJ Shark goes down, Urban Meyer's a mess on the sidelines. I mean, everything that could have went wrong. For this guy in his first season at quarterback,
right?
Steps Doug Peterson. I think from the top down, we're going to see a much more disciplined Jacksonville Jaguars offense. I think this will be Trevor Lawrence's true rookie year. I think we're going to see leaps and bounds of improvements out of this guy. I think his floor is a very good quarterback at minimum. Like for Trevor Lawrence, man, at the very minimum, he's going to be a very good quarterback, possibly an elite quarterback. This is going to be his number one weapon. Not a bunch of moves, bringing in Evan Ingram, you get ETN back.
Improve the line a little bit, I believe.
That too. I think the defense gets better, which, I think gives them more opportunities if they take Hutchinson. Here's your number one wide receiver. Already should have been a starter every week last year. They can crack into that again this year. The guy, they're going to have to get him 8 to 10 targets a game, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Even though Jacksonville improves on that defense this year, it's a team I think that'll be playing from behind quite a bit. For me, I love the value here on Christian Kirk. I think you can get him for a second round pick. And I also think not a toss in. I don't think anybody's going to just toss him in for nothing. But I think if you're negotiating a trade and a guy has Kirk, I do think he's not quite good enough that you can figure it out and get him in that trade and still get him on your roster. For me, very undervalued in dynasty football.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
Thanks, Doc. And then anybody else for you, man?
Just real quick, I'll say Amari Cooper. And it's a little bit of hometown cooking, but as things stand, it seems like Watson's probably going to play this year because his cases aren't going to be, finished up till at least 2023. So it seems like he'll play this year. Amari Cooper is the number one receiver in Cleveland. And I honestly, as a Browns fan, can't tell you there's a lot to be excited about in the number 2 receiver department. So it's going to be a lot of Amari Cooper, I would think.
No love for Schwartz.
Oh, I like Schwartz. I like DPJ. I like they brought in Jakeem Grant. I like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, they only have one like legit stud receiver. Oh. It's Amari Cooper. And if we know anything about Deshaun Watson, is that he likes to feed his star receivers. I mean, he's done it in the past. Anybody that's good, he's gonna feed them the ball. So I think Cooper's being undervalued a little bit too, since he was just kind of cast to the side by the Cowboys.
Yeah, Amari Cooper, one of them guys that feel like he's been in the league for 15 years, 27 years old, man. Still got a couple years of elite production out of him. I'm with you at the number 2 wide receiver spot in Cleveland. I still think wouldn't mind getting a couple of those guys on my roster. See who steps up.
I do think they'll draft 2. Someone too.
Or
sign someone else.
And I think on the upcoming show, I think you can definitely add the tight end to an undervalued guy there too. We won't mention any names. We'll save that for another show.
Yeah. You'll have to watch the tight end show when it comes out.
Yeah. Because that's probably my number 2 currently. I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Oh, yeah. Definitely up there for sure.
And we'll see. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition. Wide receivers we think are undervalued in Dynasty football. As always, if you could hit the like and subscribe button, love for you to come be a part of the Masters family. 700 Dynasty leagues. Redraft leagues are firing up June 1st all the way to kickoff of the first game. Every single night, man, we'll be running drafts. I'll be your commish. The doc will be your commish, man. Make sure you get to your drafts. Any last words, Doc?
No. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching, guys. Good stuff.